better stay battle ready. Our next mission could start at any time.
Test 6308. Stand clear. Enhanced animal modules. Oh, it's freaking...
Be sanctified. Bow your head.
Animal Test 6308. Shadow Raven. Let night fall. Swirl. Mark 2. Hey, hey, go away.
The tides beckon.
Stand clear. By royal decree.
Be sanctified. Silence!
Animal hypostasis emulation. Absorption test. Wings of darkness. Come, sever night. Ready, go! Don't be...
Settle down! The tides beckon. Silence!
Body in the... Huh? No, my sword! Out of the frying pan? Not now. Time to go! Body and mind. Let me weave you a verse. Huh? Don't be scared. My guidance stuff. Go!
sorry. As you wish, mein Fräulein.
Let it rain. Oz, reveal thyself. Body and mind. Rain outlines your fate.
Freeze! Don't get frostbite.
Let me weave you a verse. No, my sword! Rain cutter!
Oh, so sorry. Dodge this.
You're in for a little shock. You've been a naughty boy.
Don't get frostbite.
Look at you, Boozy!
Come a little closer. Surrender and I'll be gentle.
This man will be frozen.
Think you can bully me?
You're in.
Once, there was a glorious kingdom established among the heavens. From that kingdom came a crowned heir, tasked with seeking out the Genesis Pearl from the kingdom of darkness. The first crowned heir began her journey of seeking the pearl. But she was deceived, and the memory of her noble origins faded. She now believed that she was the queen of the kingdom of darkness. But take heart. A second crowned heir had already taken up the path where the first had stumbled. This is the story of your journey, of your tale to be told.
Too slow. The wind rises. Squall and Fury.
You are not welcome here.
Surprise! I need to focus.
Precision strike!
Be amazed!
I'll uproot you!
The wind rises. Search for it. Wretched vermin. Behold.
Over here!
Now's our chance! Neutralizing through...
Surprise! Cue the spotlight!
Upon the gale. Cry louder.
You had your chance!
Zip on up!
Let's nip that in the bud. One with the fork.
That's far enough. The wind rises. Too slow.
Engaging!
Let the magic begin!
Wretched vermin. Squall and fury.
And shroud! Let's keep going, team! Neutralizing...
Surprise!
Behold.
Zip on up!
Precision strike! I'll uproot you!
Unsightly insects. The wind rises.
sun is out. Invisibility is
Add Astra. Thank you for Add Astra. Add Astra.
no matter what.
Quit following me. The wind rises. Too slow. Behold!
Order guide you. Solidify.
Oh, mine's a command.
Ah, rally! It's showtime! Bam! Ha! Ha!
Stabilize. Stabilize.
The night is cold. Don't be scared.
Press the advantage! Attaboy! Bam!
The threads of your fate lie in my hands.
It is time, Morax. We settle this now.
Fuse is lit!
Crumble. There is no atonement for 1,000-year pain. I will have order. Today, you witness your reckoning!
Wings of darkness! Come, Severn! Fire hazard!
The enraged Earth
Here comes the
will not
fireworks!
absolve you! Gather! This is order. You stand upon your tomb, though you know it not. Come, experience an eon of suffering. Solidify!
Oz, repeat your grand finale!
Gather! Order guide you. More
hold you back.
You're trembling. Is it the cold or just cowardice?
Stabilize!
Let's light it up! I'm going in!
Fall in! Rally! Oh, coming through! Attaboy!
The Tsaritsa's benevolence has no place for transgressors!
Dreamwork! Let's light it up! Ha! Adventure time! Ha! Ha! Don't see that coming. I always bounce back. Just watch me. This is just my luck.
This is order. Advance! Press the advance! Who wants some of this? Let's roll! Attaboy!
Embrace your searing reckoning!
Order guide you. Gather!
Burn!
Solidify!
Charge!
Embrace your searing reckoning! I never asked for redemption. Never.
Time to begin work?
Bow! Before me, worm! Churn!
This is long overdue. No touching.
Rally! Advance! It's showtime! Attaboy! Insignificant pest!
Solidify!
My endless cycle begins!
Horn of Ice and Flame.
Charge! There! 1,000 eons, mine to dominate.
We're way behind schedule.
Burn to oblivion! Gather!
Born of ice and frost.
Kneel!
Next on the agenda.
Solidify!
We're way behind schedule.
Reality is pain! Gather!
Did I miscalculate?
Solidify!
Good riddance, cruel world!
For Rex Lapis! Access denied.
Gather! Let's roll! Not possible.
Stabilize!
Ah, everyone on me! Who wants some of this? Huh. Cha! Ha! Ha! Attaboy! I was destined for more.
Kamisato Ayaka, present.
Squall and Fury. The wind rises.
My apologies. Can I go catch up on my...
Quit following me. Behold! This world is full of unsolved...
Maloose, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Malus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all but, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with... I think this third person is... On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as you're and your father's butler, our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely... Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new... There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and...
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, what was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death? I've never accepted that. I want to find out the real answer.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears...
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before... But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the...
What?
boss also didn't tell you that he and the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. But as long as you remain safe, if something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately
Right, so nobody...
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the others...
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful were still far preferable than losing...
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought... Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life with... But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. And... Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of... But if you want to use it against the enemy...
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming it?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also... But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a... The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up.
Then, in that case, why not work with the fun...
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been.
Huh. That's true. See, but things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's...
You sound like you've put a lot of thought...
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability...
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy... When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendor... After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people, thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our... There's someone else like him, too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the...
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against... It's a bit difficult to imagine...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could...
I see. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has...
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot.
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocent. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make...
Oh, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and...
Who would have imagined that people could really turn into... Who would have imagined... Here we go again!
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you, and to all of us.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe...
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought... So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he tried to be as careful as he could. But even so...
They found out about...
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but... Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken... Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man.
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa...
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do it, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely...
Thank you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened?
Let me think. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to... But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was...
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason... The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques. Or a...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because... But hold on. If that's what had happened, he didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right...
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I'll tell you everything.
I understand. Then, I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor and you... And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus, many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through no matter what others might say. He'll always be the...
Don't worry. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to... Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself.
Oh, so you've caught news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina di Rosula from the ground up, it would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these 2 friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These 2 are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and...
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case if you want to go through the original files from your father's case.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't.
Well,
You see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and...
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, so I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so...
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him. Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House.
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would... I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can...
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always if anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will you-
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See?
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however...